early 60s, there was this race, between the US and the former Soviet Union about space mission. They were racing with each other, who can go to space, and the US, was lagging behind because the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, if you heard about that. And then a few years later, Sputnik 2, and then they sent another spaceship to outer space. And it looked like they had, dealt America, a knockout blow, actually, because America was lagging behind. Then all of a sudden, somebody called President Kennedy appeared on the scene. And he said, this thing is possible. Not only are we going to space, within a decade, and he was speaking early 60s, within a decade, America will put a man on the moon. And we know that not long after that, remember Neil Armstrong and his colleague, they landed on the moon. Until that time, nobody thought this was possible. It's like it was a dream. But when Kennedy came on the scene and said, we are going to do it, and set a target with a time attached to it, he gave a boost to all the people who were working in the space mission. And they saw that this thing is possible. At the beginning, even the workers didn't believe it. But eventually, they did it. You know what? Everything that is worth doing in the world has previously been pronounced impossible until somebody came forward and did it. The big difference that President Kennedy made was about his positive attitude. Positive attitude. When your attitude outdistance your abilities, even the impossible becomes possible. Attitude is very, very important, and it can actually determine your success in life. It does determine your success in life. So over the next couple of weeks, that is what we'll be focusing on. We all talk about attitude. Check your attitude. We tell people you need to keep a good attitude. You need a checkup from the neck up. Your attitude will determine your altitude, how far you go. And all these things contain truth. Attitude is very, very important. In fact, your attitude of mind is more important than your skill, than your giftedness, than your ability, than your technical knowledge, than even, opportunity. Attitude is very important, because if you have all these, good skill, good knowledge, good ability, great opportunities, but you don't have the right attitude, you can't put them to any good use. So attitude is very important. So what's your attitude then? It's your mood bear by your chosen focus. Your mood determined by what you have chosen to focus your life on. If you focus on the wrong thing, it will give you a negative attitude. In fact, most people with wrong attitudes don't even realize that they have it. But very often, when they're speaking, they are negative, they are critical, they condemn other people, they use words that are, condemnation, they are sarcastic, sometimes cheeky, or cynical. They use all these tactics to try and dominate and control people. And sometimes, they don't realize it. Going back, we have all come across a little child who wants the mom's attention. They will throw a tantrum, stomp their feet, scream, make a scene. The mom immediately will stop whatever she was doing to come and meet that little boy's need. So with time, this little boy comes to learn that you can get your way, by behaving that way, but dominating people, in a negative way. And you know what? A behavior permitted becomes a behavior repeated. If that kind of behavior is not checked early, see that the little child grows with the idea that anytime you get angry and then you are upfront in people's face and all that, they'll buckle and give you what you want. And so people develop wrong attitudes that way. Yes. Your attitude determines your altitude. It is good to have a dream, we have said. But if you have a dream without a good attitude, you become a daydreamer. It is good to have, an attitude without a dream produces a pleasant person who can progress. If you have a good attitude, but you don't have a dream, then you are only going to be a nice person. You are not going anywhere. A dream together with a positive attitude produces a person who has unlimited possibilities and potential. So you need a dream, like we've been saying, a purpose in life, but you also need a positive attitude to go with it. Otherwise, the dream alone would not help you. You see, we talked about intelligence, talent, education, technical ability, opportunity, or even hard work. But you see, all these, as good as they are, they will not determine how far you go in life if you don't have the right attitude. It's your attitude that will fuel your progress in life. If you have intelligence, talent, education, technical knowledge, opportunities, and a strong work ethic, you work hard, yet you lack the right attitude, you will never enjoy the success journey that we are talking about. Somebody called Lowell Peacock said, attitude is the first quality that marks the successful man or woman. If she has a positive attitude and a positive thinker who likes challenges and difficult situations, he has half his success achieved already. If you have a positive attitude, you are not afraid of challenges, and difficult situations, then you are already there. You will succeed. Because you know what? No matter what you do, challenges and hard situations will come. But if you don't have the right attitude, what would you do? You will give up. You will surrender. You say, oh, that's not for me. Or it's too hard. Then you give up. But if you've got a tenacious, positive attitude, you are always hopeful that it doesn't matter how bad it looks today, some good times are going to come. You are always thinking that, hey, problems are there to be solved anyway. You understand? If the going gets hard, the hard gets going. You see? So a positive attitude is very, very important. Who you are and where you are today are the result of your attitude. Every one of us. Who you are and where you are today are the result of your attitude. See, your attitude doesn't only direct your future, but it also affects who you are today. So look at yourself and see where you are. And that is the product of your attitude. That's the product of your attitude. A psychologist, philosopher called William James, very popular one. Those who study psychology in the college will know about him. He said, the greatest discovery of my generation, his generation, is that people can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. There is hope for every one of us. It doesn't matter how negative, how rotten, how defeatist your attitude is, you can change it. And if you want to change your life, it is about changing your attitude towards life. Because your attitude towards life, it would determine what you get out of life. If you've got a negative attitude towards life, life will deal negativity to you. It's as simple as that. Your attitude determines your actions, and your actions determine your accomplishments. You may or may not like to think about it, but the person you are and where you are today are the result of your attitude. We will learn about some strategies to change our attitude if it is changing. And all of us need an attitudinal change. If you are over 21, you are completely responsible for your choices and your attitude. What I mean by that is that, you see, as little babies, somebody else makes decisions for us. Our parents make decisions, especially our mom. As you go to primary school, you begin to make little decisions here and there. Secondary school, make a few decisions, but still your parents decide for you. At this stage, you are making quite a lot of decisions yourself. But you are not completely autonomous in terms of decision making. But the moment you finish uni and maybe move out of home, then you are free. You are completely responsible for all your choices and your attitude. You see, actually, what marks maturity when you marry and move away with your wife or your husband, then you are not under your parental, if you like, control or direction anymore. That is the point where your parents don't make decisions for you anymore. You see, you have grown up. It doesn't matter what the age it is. Once you are married and you are out of that, you know, out of their roof, then you are the one making your own decisions. You see, and if you are over 21, you are completely responsible for the choices you make and therefore your attitude. Attitude is not something that you can hide. It will always show. It shows in your words, it shows in your body language, it shows in your facial expression. Have you heard of President Abraham Lincoln? He lived several years ago in the US. Yeah? One of his advisors recommended that, Mr. President, why don't you appoint Mr. So-and-so into your cabinet, make him one of your, cabinet members. And Lincoln said, I don't like the man's face. Whew. And the man said, what has his face got to do with anything? And Lincoln said, anybody over 40 years old is responsible for the look of their face. You see, when you have a negative attitude, it shows on your face. It shows in your body language. It shows in your posture. It shows when you are walking, you can tell. The one who is depressed, who is confused, who hates life and all that, it shows. You can't hide it. They may not even wait to open their mouth. By the moment they open their mouth, you know that there's something wrong there. Because everything is cheeky, questioning, and everything is, negative about them. Yes. Your current attitude is a choice. You cannot blame your bad attitude on anything but yourself. It is not what happens to you, but what happens in you that matters. Not what happens to you, because very often we blame other people. Listen carefully. I've said before, and I'll say it again. We live in an imperfect world. You cannot determine what happens to you all the time. You cannot determine how people behave towards you. You cannot determine what you always get. Sometimes you do good, but you get bad. Sometimes you don't deserve it, but people behave awfully towards you. Sometimes you deserve something, but you don't get it. We live in an imperfect world. So you have to settle that. That it is not always going to go to plan. Some awful people may meet you out there and they think because you are black, they will pick on you. They think because you are a lady, they will pick on you. They think because you are a bit tall, they pick on you. All kind of, scenarios and all that, you see. But your attitude is not based on circumstances. It's not based on circumstances. You see, when somebody misbehaves, you don't react. You act by thinking. A reaction is where you allow the behavior or the circumstance to force you to do something that is usually negative. But when you act, you sit back and think. You see, you may not even need to respond. So the circumstances don't have any power over you. For instance, somebody uses the N word on you as a black person, yeah? Or use the F word on you, or say some awful thing. They curse you and that kind of thing. Those words in themselves do not have any power. They don't have any power to hurt you. Somebody calls you an F word, that word has no power to hurt you at all. It is your reaction to that word. It is how you receive it. You can allow it to hurt you. You can allow it to depress you. You can even go and kill the person because of that. But you can also brush it aside and say, the person is just talking ignorance. They don't know me. He's not worth responding to, you see. So those situations have no power, but it is our reaction to them that gives them power. I read a story of a white lady, who was raped incidentally by a black man. Black people don't do that often, but this guy took it enough, did it. And the lady got pregnant. And as awful as the rape is, this lady sat down and made a decision. I'm going to keep the baby. Most women, would consider abortion because the lady was married to a white guy. So they were going to have a misraised child. Something that will always be there to remind you of your pain. But she had a choice. She sat down and said, you know what? I'm not going to abort this baby. And she gave birth to the baby. Obviously, at some point, they explained to the baby why she was different from the other children. And she's a lovely young lady. I have got a book on her. Maybe one day I'll bring the book to show some of you. You see, what happened to her was very serious, very, very painful. And we cannot, diminish, the brutality of rape to a woman, defiling her will, But she had a choice. She didn't go the conventional way, what most women would have chosen. She said, keep the baby. It's not the baby's fault. So she kept the baby and gave birth to her. Your upbringing has no power to dictate your attitude. Because you know what? It is in the past. And I know that many of us have come from backgrounds that are less than, if you like, complete, that are less than, pleasant. We've been through situations that are challenging and difficult and all that. But you see, it is in the past. Like they say, the past is in the tomb. Let it go. You see, and move on. Because you can't make progress in life when you are dragging the past behind you. Somebody said, if you want to make progress, you have to travel light. So all the hangovers and the bitterness and the unforgiveness, and the resentment and all that, drop all of them so that you can travel fast in life and make good progress. Limitations. Maybe your circumstance in terms of beauty, money, family background, whatever. Everybody has a limitation of a kind. I know somebody who is wealthy, has a very nice house, but incidentally, his nose is a little bit bigger than normal. And because of that, he is allowing that to ruin his life. That's his limitation. A big nose. So people may look at him a bit and that kind of thing. But he's allowing that to ruin his life. He could go on and say that, I'm blessed in life. I've got all this. I'm better than most people. He's focusing on the little thing that was wrong with him, you see. And then that has destroyed his life. He's not a happy person because of that. Everybody has got limitations. Limitations should not be a stop sign. They should be, an advanced sign. They should rather, help you to know where to go and what to do. So if you've got a limitation in some area, then you know that you need to maybe work harder there or improve in that area. Don't let it stop you. Limitations should not stop you. Other people, no one but yourself is responsible for the choices you make today. Overcome the abuse and the injury and move on. The truth is that no matter who you are, no matter how good your circumstance, you can still find somebody to be angry, something to be angry about, something to have a negative attitude about, something to be resentful about. No matter how good your upbringing is, there's still something that you can point to and say, this one is not right. And no matter how bad your situation, there is still something you can find that is good about your life. You see? There is still something. It doesn't matter how bad your situation. There is still something that you can point to and say, this one is good, and give God thanks for it. No matter where you were yesterday or how negative your attitude has been in the past, you can be more positive today. That makes an incredible difference in your life and potential. Somebody called Bill Russell said, the game is already scheduled. I said that last week. The game is already scheduled. We have to play it. We might as well what? Win it. It doesn't matter your limitation. It doesn't matter your circumstance. It doesn't matter how awful people have treated you. We have to live. We have to make the best out of life. We have to win. Don't just live. Don't just exist. Purpose in your mind that you are running the race to win. And if you are running the race to win, then there are some things you should take note of. Your attitude determines how you approach the journey, the success journey, the life journey. In San Francisco, in the US, a certain school, conducted an experiment. The principal gathered 90 pupils, 90 students, and selected 3 teachers and told the teachers that you are the best in the faculty. You are the best teachers. Most experienced, most skilled, you teach the best and all that. And then told the 90 students that you are the best students in your year. This year, these are your teachers. You are going to learn separately from the others. And they informed the parents. And the parents were happy about it. You know what? And the teachers went on with those students, 90 students, 3 teachers, for the whole year. At the end of the year, those students achieved 20 to 30% higher than the rest of their year group. And obviously, the students were thinking that, yeah, because we are good, because we are better than the rest. You see, why did they achieve? It was their positive mental attitude, an attitude of expectation. They know they were good. They know they could do it. They had that mentality, you see. And so they achieved more than the rest of their year. And so the principal called them and he said, you know what? I have a confession to make. What is that? These students are no different from the rest of the year. In actual fact, they were just handpicked at random. We didn't look at their scores or anything. They are no different than the rest of their year. So how come they were so successful? How come they achieved better than the rest? It was their positive attitude, their attitude of what? Expectation. They believed in themselves. You see? They believed in themselves. And they believed in one another. And that made a difference. And the teachers were also thinking, well, if the students were just run of the mill, just like the others, then it must be us, we the teachers. Because we are experienced and skilled, we are the best teachers. And the principal said, I have another confession to make. You teachers, you were the first on the list. We just handpicked you from a hat. We just balloted and just chose you at random. You are no better than the rest of the teachers. You see? But because of their expectation, because of the positive mental attitude, they outperform the rest. When you have that, you go very far. It's very important that you develop that. How you think affects your approach to the success journey in a powerful way. Your attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards you. Did you hear that? Your attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards you, which means it determines what you get out of life. What I believe about life determines how I perceive life, which determines what I receive from life. So if you have a negative attitude, guess what you'll be getting? Everything will be negative. Because you go around some people that will help you, they can't tolerate you. They don't want to be in your presence. They don't want a critical, negative, condemning, abusive person, sarcastic person. Anybody that may want to come to your life, maybe to be a blessing, they hang around you. No, this is not the kind of person I want to hang around. They don't like your company. You see? They don't like your company because of your negative attitude. So you need to have a positive attitude. If you expect the worst in life, you will certainly get it. You will certainly get it. But if you expect the best, you know what? It doesn't matter how challenging the environment gets, the situation gets. It doesn't matter the difficulties you encounter, because a positive attitude in itself will not stop those challenges from coming. But you know what? You'll be optimistic and say, you know what? It may be challenging, but I'll persist. I'll endure. I know I can overcome this thing. I know the best days are yet to come. I know tomorrow will be better. I know I can overcome this. I'm not the type that gives up easily. You see? The challenges will come, but your positive mental attitude will help you to survive it and overcome it. Very important. Yes. The better your attitude is, the further you will go. The better your attitude is, the further you go. Attitude, more than anything, affects success in business, in health, in ability to recover from fatal sicknesses like cancers, and longevity in business. They did a study among the Fortune 500 companies in America. These are the top businesses here, the biggest and the most profitable business in America. And they interviewed the chief executive officer, the CEOs. And they discovered that every one of them, 94% of them, attributed their success, the success of their organization, to the positive attitude of the management and the employees. And they discovered that the higher you go in business, the more positive attitude you discover. So people who are successful in business, they are people with a positive attitude. You want to succeed in business? Positive attitude. Not only in that, they also did another research years ago at King's College. You know where it is? Camberwell. King's College in London here. And they discovered that women who have had mastectomy, that's a cancer treatment, cancer operation, those who were diagnosed and had a positive attitude, they know that, hey, this thing, I know some people have survived it, I'll survive it. 10 years later, 70% of them were still alive because of their positive attitude. But those who were pessimistic or had a negative attitude, 10 years later, 8 out of 10 of them had died. Why did they die? Because of their negative attitude. The moment the GP tells him, you have this incurable thing, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. They said I'll die in 5 days. They said I'll die in 5 months. You see, they won't even put up any resistance. They won't fight it. They won't try to do something about it. You know, if they are believers, they may not even pray. They just fold up and yield and die. Why some people say, me? No way. I'd rather die fighting. You see, 70% of them lived because their attitude was what? Positive. 80% died who were diagnosed. At the point of diagnosis, they had a negative attitude. You see, so even recovering from fatal sicknesses, the main factor is what? Your attitude. And then people with positive mental attitudes generally live longer. They live longer. It doesn't matter what comes their way. They think survivor, they think overcome, they think they can whip it, and so they live longer, generally speaking. So it's very important. Your attitude makes a difference between success and failure. A good attitude gives you fuel to pursue your purpose and grow to your potential, and so sees benefiting others. And it makes the journey more enjoyable along the way. If you have a good attitude, you enjoy life along the way. You enjoy coming to college. You enjoy every teacher's lesson. It doesn't matter those who are friendly and those who are not. It doesn't make a difference. It's your attitude that makes a difference. Some of you may struggle to come to college, not because the college is bad, not because the teachers are bad. The same teachers that teach those that get A's and B's and that kind of thing, the same teachers. But it's your attitude that will give certain teachers certain impressions about you. And then the relationship becomes a bit soured, and then it's a problem. And then you don't want to work because your attitude is that you are even doing the coursework for him, so you don't want to do it. You know, you're not doing Mark's work, but it's not Mark's work. If you want to become a business person and a engineer or a manager some future, well, you have to do the coursework. You know, you have to do the work. Yes. Somebody called John Wooden said, things turn out the best for people who made the best of the way things turn out. If you expect things to turn out the best for you, then the opportunity you get makes the best of it. Have a good effort, and then it will turn good for you. Things turn out the best for people who made the best out of the way things turn out. Does it make sense? Yes. When the opportunity comes, take it, grab it with all hands, and then you will see that you begin to succeed. Very important. Attitude is very, very important. In fact, one of the number one cause of marriage breakdowns is attitude. 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 There were these two men, they worked for the same company. And they were both made redundant on the same day. And as they were coming home, the first one phoned the wife. Hi, Ivy. Hello, who is that? Oh, it's me, Mark. What can I do for you? Ivy, you know they have terminated me. They made me redundant. Mark, didn't I tell you that you need to find a new job? This company has been threatening this. I knew it was coming. I've told you, you don't listen to anything. What kind of man are you? How am I and my children going to eat? You will come and meet me here. Hey! If a woman says that, that's big trouble, isn't it? You will come and meet me. Oh my gosh. You know the man never got home? Never got home. He never got home. You don't want that woman holding his neck and strangling him. He never got home. As he was, confused, drunk, and, walking along the road, some girl on the second story saw him through the window. So this man looks like there's something wrong with him. So she rushed down and said, Mister, what's your problem? The man said, oh, it's okay, there's nothing. So tell me, problems are there to be solved. That got a man's attention, isn't it? What can this little girl do for me? Tell me. I can do whatever you need for you. I will help you. Whatever way I can help you, I will do it. Then he started getting the girl's attention. The girl took him by the hand and slowly, his jacket off, removed his shoes, relax. Brought a towel, wrapped around his neck. So relax. These days of microwave here, he went into the fridge. Within 5 minutes, food was ready. Eat and what's your problem? brought some lagers, and the man drank, and before he realized it was the following morning, he never went home. That woman's attitude caused her to lose her husband. The second man also called home. Said, Vicky, say yes. You know they have terminated me. They've sent me home. They made me redundant. What are we going to do? I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. And then Vicky responded, why are you confused? You know what? I believe that when one door shuts, then another is opening, isn't it? We have to look for it. I believe that that avenue is closed because God is going to give you something bigger and better. Don't you believe? Come home. Don't worry about that. You know the best part? The next couple of days, we are even going to have more time to ourselves. Anyway, the man lied a bit, isn't it? Okay? So the man went home, and the woman said, you know what? Before the man got home, actually, the woman had prepared food. And he said, you know what? All the money you have been giving me, I've not been using all of it. I always put something aside. I have this much left. So you know what? Before you find another job, we and the children will always have food on the table. I'll make sure of that. Oh gosh. The man was so impressed. He couldn't say a word. How the lady, how the wife, ate. And they went on and ate some more. You understand? Good. And the following morning, at dawn, about 3 a.m., the woman looked around in the bed. The man was not there. The husband was not there. Then she heard some noise in the living room. Went there. This man was all dressed up, looking for his CV. What are you doing at this time? He said, I'm going to look for a new job. I will make sure that before sundown tonight, I will have another job. I'll make sure that you and the children, will never starve one day. The man went out. When the sun rose, he went out. And you know what? Before he came back that same evening, he got another job. You see how different attitudes responded to the same situation, and one lost out, and one attitude is very important. A couple of years back, a lady phoned me on my radio program, and he said, I was talking about attitudes and how, the most important thing to us men is the way our wives, honor us and respect us. A woman also needs respect. We all need respect. But it's a big thing for a man. Yeah? If anybody criticizes you, you can overcome it. But if your wife is always criticizing you and putting you down, that's a big thing for men. We can't stand it. Because we don't expect them to do that. We think they are our lovers, so they shouldn't be correcting us all the time, criticizing and putting us down, and that makes us look stupid and that kind of thing, yeah? And then this girlfriend says, now I know why my big sister's husband left and never came back. Because my sister was always on the man. He was always nagging him, always critical, negative, and that kind of thing. If you do that, the man is gone. He'll go. You see, he'll go. Of course, there are some things you need to do for a woman to make her happy, yeah? So, let's look at some signs of a great attitude. 7 signs of a great attitude or a good attitude. Believe in yourself. I said last week, it doesn't matter how many people believe in you or don't believe in you. You can still succeed. If others don't believe in you, you can still succeed. But if you don't believe in yourself, you can never succeed. Believe that you can. Believe that you've got something good. Like I told you some time ago, it's not just about academic excellence. It's not just if you are not smart in the classroom, doesn't mean that your life is over. It's not. A lot of people are more successful even than those of us that go to university and have master's degrees and that kind of thing. So it's not. You can succeed. There are several ways to succeed and be happy in life. Yes. Believe in yourself. You see, focus on the good things in yourself. Focus on improving yourself. If you do that, you will be able to reach your potential. Dr. Joyce Brothers, a psychologist, said, it is no exaggeration to say that a strong positive self-image is the best possible preparation for success in life. A strong positive self-image is the best preparation. A strong positive self-image is the best preparation for success in life. You need that. Everybody needs that. Number 2, willingness to see the best in other people. You don't know what somebody would bring. You don't know what somebody can contribute. So when you see people, everybody has got a mixture of some good and some bad, but some people always focus only on the bad thing. If you do that, your wife will walk away. If you do that, your husband will walk away. Focus on the good things in them. You see, a lot of men leave an 80% wife and they go for a 20% woman. Let me explain it. My wife Vicky, very good. She's not perfect. Yeah? But she meets about 80% of my needs. There are some things I prefer that she doesn't do, and that bothers me. Okay? But supposing I go out there and I meet somebody who will do those things that my wife is not doing, immediately I think, oh, this one must be better than my wife, isn't it? She's doing this and that, but it's not true. She is only giving me 10 or 20%. My wife is giving me 80%. A lot of men follow a woman like that because of the 20% they are missing. And then after about 6 months, 1 year, they discover that, oh, that woman too is the same as maybe worse than my wife. That's why affairs and adultery, they don't last. Because very soon, you get to know the real nature of the person. When you meet them at first, everybody can put up a show for a short period, isn't it? But the one that I've lived with for 30 years, and I know her really good, she's not a 100% woman, but the 80% she's giving is as good. But if you don't take care, you go out there, see somebody who is giving you only 20%, and you conclude, because the 20% is what your wife is not giving, or your husband is not giving for that matter. And you conclude that, oh, he's better, or she's better than my wife. Because my wife doesn't do this, she does that. You understand? You choose her, and then later on you regret. Throw your 80% away. Okay? So, see the best in others. Ability to see opportunities everywhere. There are opportunities all over in life. Everywhere you go, there are opportunities. You have to open your eyes and see. There are opportunities in this college. There are opportunities in the neighborhood where you live. There are opportunities in the people that you meet and all that. Open your eyes and see it. If you do that, you know, you will see that you go far. Somebody told her daughter, he says, always say yes, because nothing happens to people who say no. Always say yes. Say yes. Nothing happens to people who say no. Okay, like when we advertise this thing, you know, some students say, oh, I can't come. Why don't you come the first time? Maybe a couple of times, you don't like it, you stay away. They said no, nothing happened to them. You understand? It may benefit them, but because they said no up front, they will lose it. So always say yes. Yes to the right thing. Because if you keep saying no, 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 nothing will happen. You get a no in life. Are you listening? Yes. Focus on solutions. I'll finish with this. Focus on solutions. Yeah, people with a positive attitude focus their time and attention on solutions, not on problems. Don't look at your problems all the time. Yes, they see a solution in every problem, a possibility in every impossibility. Louis Brandeis, Supreme Court Justice, said, most of the things we're doing in the world had been declared impossible before they were done. People thought that it was not possible to run the 100 meters in what? Is it 10 seconds? Less than 10 seconds? Until somebody came forward, shattered it. Now everybody's doing it. People said that it wasn't possible to go to the moon. Never possible. Shattered it. Somebody said you couldn't never swim across the English Channel until somebody came, shattered it. Every good thing that you are going to do, somebody has said that it's not possible. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. Focus on solutions. Focus on solutions. Yes. Yes. Focus on solutions. And when you do that, you will see that you'll be breaking records here and there. The fact that nobody has done it before doesn't mean that it's impossible. It simply means nobody has done it before. Nobody has thought about it. You think about it. Go ahead and do it.